Hey everybody, welcome back to game number 2 between Merz and Dimaga, and this is in the IEM tournament, the Intel Extreme Masters. If you guys haven't seen the first game, Dimaga did lose that game, and I'm sorry if I spoiled it for all of you guys who haven't, but if you guys haven't, then what are you guys doing watching the second game in the first place? Anyways, it is going to be a Zerg versus Terran, and you could not ask for a better map for Dimaga on Shakuris Plateau. This map is like the Zerg player's dreamland. This is the best playground you could possibly hope for, and there's a couple of features that make it that way. Firstly, the easily accessible natural, a very closed off ramp, not like most maps where there's this huge 360, well I guess that one 180 degree angle exposure to the main, to the open of the map. Kind of like, you know, Zelnaga Caverns or Delta Quadrant. This map has a very closed natural, and the second major thing is that the map distance is relatively far away. It's actually probably the furthest distance map next to maybe Kulas Ravine, but Kulas isn't exactly the best Zerg map in the first place. So yeah, this map is a very good map for Dimaga, and I think if anything, if he's gonna win this best of 3, then this is the game for him to take a game off Merz. Merz here showing some pretty competent Terran level play so far, going in with that barracks rush and then taking out the hatchery of Dimaga. Wasn't exactly expecting that, and we'll see what happens this game. Dimaga looks like he will be going for a very greedy hatchery, 16 hatch. Wow, that is super greedy, but like I said, if there's any map that Zerg can be greedy on, this is the map to do it. And this 16 hatch is going to play well in Dimaga's hands, unless, of course, Merz decides to go for like an all-out mass marine, mass SCV rush, which would be something that Fake Boxer would do. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Merz here will see the hatchery, and he will get into the Zerg base to see exactly what's going on. We have a spawning pool coming down. I think that's on 16 as well, so Dimaga here, very greedy opening, getting a couple extra drones as a result. And when you're playing at this high level, every single drone really does come into play, and it definitely counts. So, anyways, as you guys all know, I did mention this in the last game. Oh, Overlord, what are you guys doing? You are not where you need to be. The Marine is craning his neck upwards, but I don't think he will be able to kill off the Overlord. Notice Merz there putting it in the position where he's going to get the most shots off, but I think Dimaga should be okay. Meanwhile, looks like a drone now gonna go out and do a little bit scouting of his own. We have a barracks fast expand from Merz. Merz will be throwing his command center right into the open. Doesn't even want to waste time building it inside the main and then having to lift it off. He just wants that eco going right away, and he knows that Dimaga is not going to be, most likely rather than not, Dimaga is not going to be applying pressure because he went for such a late hatchery. But Dimaga going against what Merz would think, and he is going for a Roach Warren. We might just see some kind of a Roach bust, maybe a 7 Roach bust, but I don't think Dimaga is going to have enough, I don't think he's going to have enough minerals to make more than 3 or 4 roaches, but there will most likely be some kind of a roach attack, and Merz has to be careful. He needs a bunker. He has one on the way. His SCV coming in here, very good scouting, and it should see the Roach Warren. There it goes, with 4 roaches on the way from Dimaga. So Dimaga is, first he went for this greedy hatchery, which, you know, most Terrans would think, okay, it's going to be a long-term game, and that's exactly what Merz thought. He said, all right, you're going to throw a hatchery down, then I'm going to go for a command center. But Dimaga now going against that, going against the player, playing some mind games, is now going to be going for this roach attack. And, you know, it could have been a little bit more. I think there could have been 5 or 6 roaches instead of just a measly 4. But we'll see what kind of damage Dimaga can do. And it looks like Merz, oh wow, gonna be throwing 2 factories down after the first barracks, and he already has 2 gases running. So I think we are going to see some, possibly going to see some biomech play with some Marines out of the reactored barracks or some reactored Hellions. Either's a possibility, but I think Merz is going to be playing a mech game today as he's got very early gas. Here comes the roaches from Dimaga. He is just going to test the ramp. I think this first roach is going to die. SCVs, even a mule getting pulled off the mineral line. Not sure what the mule is all about. Too bad it can't attack, but it looks like a lot of SCVs are going to go down. Maybe not a lot. The bunker there doing quite a bit of damage. And Dimaga gets a free scout into the Terran main, so he sees all these factories, and he sees the barracks, and he sees the double gas. So he knows there will be a mech game coming from Merz. I'm not exactly sure if these roaches really made themselves cost efficient, although there goes one more SCV kill. Is he going to get another? Oh, that was a long barf of green acid, and he did get one more SCV, so not an entire loss. And notice the entire time Dimaga has been droning up 38/22. Also now getting a spire down. Let's go ahead and take a look at Dimaga's first person player cam, the cam view of the day, and let's see what kind of APM he's sporting out here. 215 compared to Merz's 356. I think I would get motion sickness if I was to switch to Merz right now, but for the sake of it, let's go ahead and take a look at what Merz is doing. He is just training up some Marines. Doesn't look too active right now. Oh, there we go. Giving me a little bit of seizure. But yeah, you guys can see both these players, very, very fast players. Everything's constantly changing. They're constantly selecting different buildings. And, oh, it looks like, oh, Merz is going to be breaking down his backdoor rocks here. And he is going to go for, I suppose he's got siege tanks on the way, and he's already got siege mode. So I guess he's going to try to siege up towards the back of Dimaga's base. Dimaga, meanwhile, clueless and oblivious, is going to be getting a third hatchery. So he really doesn't know that there are these tanks threatening down his backside very, very soon. He is getting that Muta Baneling build going. His Spire just about to finish, and we might see about 3 Mutalisks come out. But the rocks are about halfway done. This tank is just doing so much damage. These things do 25 damage to rocks, so they really, really hurt. Or do they do 25? I guess not. I guess they do the lower amount, 15. But they attack very fast. They are going to kill down those rocks very quickly. And, you know, you've got to imagine, Merz isn't just going to break down one set of rocks for no reason. He's going to go for an all-out attack. Here comes the Marines and the rest of the tanks. And Merz, looking threatening, is going to come around the backside. Dimaga isn't expecting this. He's just droning up right now. He's got a great economy. But does he have enough units to deal with this? One Overlord will scout the attack. And now Dimaga knows exactly what is going on. He needs to get Banelings. He needs to make more Mutas ASAP. He's also getting centrifugal hooks. He's morphing in 3 Banelings right now, but the tanks are sieging up on the backside. And Dimaga now, the pressure is on. Is he going to allow another push from Merz to end this series like it ended the first game? Or is he going to be able to hold up? He's throwing down a couple spines just to buy as much time as he possibly can. But oh, this is going to be a very tense situation here. He does have the third base up. The rocks now have been destroyed, and Merz is starting to siege up those tanks. Gonna walk those Marines up towards the main, and Dimaga has nothing. Is he gonna bring his forces in? Here comes a couple of Mutalisks just to pick off the first Marine. But the tank is shelling those spine crawlers, and right now Dimaga needs Banelings. He needs them really, really bad. If he could get one wish out of a bottle, a genie, he would wish for more Banelings. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's making all that many. Come on, Banelings, come on, Banelings. Dimaga here has allowed his spine crawlers to die. He's morphing in 3 more, it looks like, but his extractor in danger of going down. Here we go. Dimaga coming in from the north, trying to pick off this tank. He will pick off the tank at the cost of one Mutalisk, and I think that is very much worth it. That's going to halt the advance of the Terran army, but Merz, relentless as ever, continuing to push forward. He has reinforcements coming as well. The Marines here potentially could do a lot of damage. First-person player cam of Merz right here. He is pretty much just focused on this attack, whereas Dimaga is trying to get his army situated. He's trying to get enough Banelings. Is he going to have enough to deal with this? Merz is now on the high ground. He's killed off the extractor. No more mining going on 2 of the mineral patches, and Dimaga is just desperately trying to use his Mutalisk to halt this advance, picking off turret, picking off bunker, trying to slow down the Terran whenever possible. Looks like he will pick off a tank that was reinforcing, so that is very, very good. And I like this play from Dimaga. He's going to use his Mutalisk to pick off all the reinforcing units. This is extremely smart. Because this Terran ball will not get to that huge critical mass where it becomes impossible to deal with. Here comes the Banelings, though. The Banelings have to focus down the Marines, and it looks like they do just that. All the Marines get taken out. A couple of tanks remain. I think these Mutas, after picking off that turret, should be able to clean off the tanks very easily. Tank gets picked off. These Marines going for a stim job. And I think they killed off quite a few drones. But Dimaga, great macro. Still a remnant of a turret here, but great macro from Dimaga. He still has 50 harvesters. Even though it seemed like he would have lost almost all of them in that attack, he has done great. He's held off the Terran attack, and now it's time for redemption for the Swarm. So he's also even getting some upgrade. Well, he's actually got level 1 upgrades already. He's getting level 2 on Carapace and Melee, and he's got map control right now, so he's looking very good. Has a 4th base up and running, or about to be up and running. Dimaga is looking great. He's getting more banelings, more lings. What can Merz do at this point? I almost feel like that was an all-out attack. Look at all these mules, my goodness. Merz there must have really just forgot about macro and just let all those mules pile up in his base, or all that energy on the command center. And it looks like right now he's throwing up a ton of barracks, some starports as well. Maybe he's going to try to transition out of this, but I feel like he's definitely behind. You guys can see, oh no, he's not that far behind at all. 119 over 107, so Dimaga is the one who's still behind in the army count. And Merz is not doing that bad, I guess. I thought for sure that after Dimaga held off that attack, he would have been in a great position. Doesn't really seem to be the case, so Merz now moving out with a couple of scouting SCVs. And really at this point, if you're a Terran player, you gotta scout. You gotta see what the enemy is up to. And this is very, very smart from Merz. Moving his SCVs into the northern position, he will see these 2 hatcheries. So he knows that, you know, right now he might still be a little bit ahead, but he knows once these minerals start to get harvested and all that gas starts to go into army, he is going to fall behind. So he knows he has to push out, and now's the time to push. He has decided this is the time. One Zergling from Dimaga will catch this push, however, but oh man, this is such a threatening ball of Marines and tanks. The Banelings must hit the Marines, and the Mutalisks must focus the tanks. Here comes the Lings, absorbing some damage. The Marines stimming behind the tanks and running for safety. The Banelings doing some good damage, but the tanks have killed off the majority of the Banelings. But meanwhile, it looks like the Mutalisks taking advantage of the fact that the Marines are in the back, picking off several tanks. Great play from both these players. Absolutely insane micro, but the Marines have prevailed. They are inside the Zerg main doing tons of damage. Dimaga needs Banelings ASAP, and he's only got 4 on the way. Is 4 going to be enough to save his hive or his lair? He has to save it. Here comes the Banelings. 1 explosion doing some huge damage. Another pair of Banelings will get warded away. And Merz once again setting up a contain, throwing up those tanks and Marines and turrets, and it looks like this is such a back and forth game, but I think that Dimaga should be able to hold on. It is very, very close. Right now, Merz even pulling some SCVs off. I wonder what that was all about. Maybe he's going to try to erect a command center here. I think that might be the case. He's throwing up some turrets, some tanks. I think he's going to try to expand here. Yeah, he is going to lift off his command center. And oh man, Dimaga cannot allow such a close expo to go up right behind his main base. He cannot under any circumstance allow that to happen. Luckily for him, he's got great macro. He's still looking pretty good. He's got a slightly larger army now, so if he can micro this perfectly, he should be able to do good damage. The Marines are very well spread. Here comes the Banelings, though, not going after the tanks. Very wise from Dimaga, sending the Banelings after the Marines, and only a couple of Marines fall. But it looks like the damage has been done. Just blood everywhere, all over the ground here. But Merz, it looks like he is going to hold on. Holy crap, this game is intense. Dimaga just barely on the cusp of victory. At the same time now, Merz just barely holding on to this expansion. Here comes another attack. The Banelings rolling in. They are going to do so much damage. Oh god, all the harvesters go down. And as a result, the command center falls. And I think Merz will lose game number 2. What an intense action-packed game. I think Dimaga will take this. He's inside the Terran main for the first time in the entire day, but that's the beauty of Zerg. Once you're inside the Terran main, you will probably win because you can pick off all these reinforcing units one by one. But incredible game nonetheless by both these players, and we're going to move on to game number 3 between Merz and Dimaga IEM. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this broadcast. And of course, post down below. Tell me what you guys think about the HD tournament coming up. And let me know what players you guys want to see. All right, HD signing out.